I have this book on my shelf which is called, in French, I'll say it in English, The French Canadian Missionary, written in 1960 at a time when the French Canadians were considered the greatest missionary society people in the world. French Canadians went all over the world, into South America, into Asia, into Africa, in the name of the church, the Catholic Church, obviously. Quebec people are passionate for service, for reaching out, for moving out. Ironically, we're this little French enclave within North America, but historically we have gone out. Now, as evangelicals, we're just learning what that means. And one of the things I think that we can contribute to the broader work of the mission of the church is that we've learned here in Quebec, not because we wanted to, but we've learned how to do with very little. We've learned how to believe God for great things with very little resources. Many people have said that the Quebec believer is one of the most perseverant believers that they've met, because we hang in there. Secondly, I think we can contribute to the work of the overall work of God in the sense that we're sensitive to His leading. The Quebec church is a very spontaneous church. Sometimes that works for us, sometimes it doesn't. But I think at a time where things are moving, where the church is challenged all around this planet, where there's a lot of adjustments that need to be done, where there's a lot of changes that happen almost overnight, I think Quebec believers would fit well into that context, where there's a spontaneity, there's a simplicity of life, voluntary simplicity. La simplicité volontaire amongst Quebec society is quite popular. Simplicity is one of the good old spiritual disciplines. So I think those are some of the areas. Obviously, the French-speaking language is something that we can bring. It's not only the English language that can bring Christ to different nations. Obviously, we know that now since quite a few decades, that it's not just missions is no longer just an English language adventure, obviously, but and although French is not it's not one of the major languages of the world, it's still quite an important one. And so our own school, through association and helping to launch a leadership training program in school in France, we would like to develop relationships with our partners in French Africa, and so I would say that we have a lot to offer. We haven't offered a whole lot yet, but the Quebec Church is ready to move beyond its own boundaries, and will be part of the overall missional work of Christ in this coming decade.